Now, a couple of points. Dr. von Vogel was talking about concrete issues, so let me briefly go through our priorities. The battle groups. We succeeded to bring the issue of battle groups to the table, presenting a number of very concrete ideas on how to better adapt these formations to European Union's actual needs. Did we achieve, did we manage to activate the groups? Of course not. It is still very much a concept that is not quite ready for being put into operation. But the problems are basically two. The first one is we know that if everybody knows that if we want to do, if we want to make a working mechanism out of the battle groups in the European Union, we will have to invest in them first. It is a costly exercise. And nowadays, states are not ready to invest into something they have no kind of almost 100% certainty that it will work, that it will bring fruits in the future. So we are still in that stage of getting convinced that this is the way to go about that. And the second element is a political will. We still have no common political will to use the battle groups. But we are actually ready to it, and I believe that we are closer to the point when we will decide, yes, the battle groups are actually a good instrument to be used for crisis management. The concrete achievement is that we managed to secure, not that we managed, but we advocated a strategic transport of all kinds from the common budget. Hotly debated, but eventually concluded in a positive way. Planning and conducting military operations. You know that the issue of a mechanism, of a cell in the European Union bureaucracy that would be in charge of crisis management operations. And indeed, despite those controversies, we managed to agree on an operation center that would make a nucleus of an operation planning and conduct cell in the European Union structures. Although at this moment this mechanism pertains only to the civilian operations in the Horn of Africa, it will pave way for similar decisions in the future. I have no doubt as to that. And last but not least, pooling and sharing. Dr. von Vogel was talking about it. Pooling sharing is probably the most attractive concept on the market right now as far as CSDP is concerned. Pooling and sharing is a concept, though, which has not been yet quite grasped by all those who debate on pooling and sharing. It is an incredibly complex idea. But I say that every pooling and sharing, or each pooling and sharing, or smart defense, as it is being called in the NATO context, project has its own parameters, has its own character, is basically a separate concept. To grasp pooling and sharing, one has to thoroughly study pooling and sharing case by case. And I think it is actually the understanding of pooling and sharing today is much better than it was 6 months ago. There is no international debate, bilateral, multilateral, European Union, NATO, otherwise, that would not include pooling and sharing as a theme for debate. So the very attractive idea of pooling and sharing, it will bear fruits in the future. It will not bear fruits tomorrow. And I think that to rush to it, or actually to push pooling and sharing too much, may damage the outcome that we will have sooner or later. I do not want to analyze all aspects of pooling and sharing. It's a fascinating issue, because we could talk about sovereignty in the context, or pooling and sharing in the context of sovereignty, a very gratifying, academically speaking, topic. But the element this element is indeed very important, must not be neglected, must not be ignored. When we talk about pooling and sharing, we immediately talk about, okay, with whom? Because that's the question, with whom we will pool and then share. And if we start thinking about how important it is for states that are expected to make the decision, then we will see what kind of a decision states have to make in order to put that concept of pooling and sharing into operation. So, in my view, pooling and sharing has a great future, but again, patience is needed, and in order not to damage that idea, which is getting clearer, becoming clearer, we should probably let it go for a while. Eastern neighbors, another point that we pushed during our presidency. It's maybe a little bit away of the main thread of our deliberations today, but I wanted to tell you that that theme was of a lot of import to us. Just one comment: it's a two-way street, so that should be seen in that context. To conclude, as I said at the beginning, one of the main ambitions of our presidency was to move the common security and defense policy debate forward, and we did. And I do believe that our pragmatic approach has helped building the understanding that common security and defense policy is not a zero-sum game, and that consensus can be reached on very concrete ways to increase the efficiency of this policy. And one more remark, again thinking about 6 months ago or 7 months ago and today. Believe me, CSDP, which is being used very commonly in international debates, is being spoken out today in a different voice or tone than it was 6 months ago. I do notice that solid allocation of CSDP as a notion in debates that that I participate as representative of Poland today. Thank you very much.